fresh out of my boots.
Starting live. Can't turn your phone while you're recording. Let me rotate it. Hi guys. Hi Hollywood.
Hello.
Here for another episode live streaming, and today we have another guest.
The one and only Kallie Flagor.
Flagor. Hold on. Okay. So we're gonna start now in 5, 4, 3.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Two Bears in a Pod.
Can you believe it's been 6 episodes already?
I really can't.
So I think we have to do a couple shout outs on today's episode. Of course, to the parent company, Spark Creative. Spark Creative, we love you. Actually, we are you, Spark Creative.
Not only do we love you, we are you.
Pretty much. I mean, the whole team's here today.
Yeah,
With Kallie here, I mean, it's everybody.
All 3 legs of Spark Creative in the house tonight.
Couple of shout outs to some of the past people, because today's episode is going to be about how when we worked in retail. We've all had some experience actually working in retail.
I never worked in retail, but I was the janitor in a certain furniture chain.
Well, needless to say, it's to all the people that we've worked with, past and present. We all love you. I hope you all appreciate this episode.
Well, I don't love everybody I worked with at that store, but you know, the sentiment.
You know, I really hope none of them watch this now.
None of them are.
So, and also, before we actually start the show, I'm declaring war on cauliflower today.
Fuck cauliflower.
Cauliflower is garbage. We all need to stop making it a thing. Stop ricing it. Stop putting it in buffalo tots. It's not a thing.
Not gonna be a thing.
It's never going to be a thing.
Nobody wants it to be a thing.
When you boil it, it smells like farts. How the hell do you eat something that smells like a fart?
Damn vegans.
Seriously. So, you know what? Today's hashtag... cauliflower, don't make it a thing. Or if you want to add something to it, I don't know.
Like, hashtag fuck cauliflower.
Yeah, we could do that too. I like that, fuck cauliflower.
Sorry, no amount of spicing, herbs, nothing.
It's
It
cauliflower.
doesn't taste good.
You could rice it, you can make pizza with it, it's all bad. Bad.
Who decided to start making cauliflower pizza crust? Pizza dough. That thing.
I tried it once and it was disgusting, so.
I've tried cauliflower rice so I could, like, cheat my way into having both rice and a vegetable at the same time, but it just made me sad.
It's just all bad. So let's introduce our guest today, my fiance Kallie. Here's your chance to promote yourself a little bit. Go right ahead. Put yourself out to the internet world. They're watching.
Fantastic. I work for them. They're my bosses.
Yahoo!
Yeah. How awkward is that? I mean, I do websites. I do design. I do just about anything. I mean, I work at night at a paint and sip.
She's got 7 jobs.
Yeah, I do. I work 3 jobs because, you know, millennial.
That's a talk for another episode.
Yes. I work at night and I work for my mom during the day, and then whenever I have time, I work for them.
Yay!
And when we have time, when we don't have time, we work for us, and we hate it.
We don't hate it, we just don't really have much going on right now. That's why we're here!
We're hoping this actually springboards us into fame. Well, we hope either or both.
So
Whichever
just-
happens first.
Just remember that hashtag. Cauliflower.
Hashtag fuck cauliflower. Put that on a t-shirt.
Sell it everywhere.
That's what we're going to do, actually.
You know, that should probably be our artwork for tonight.
Just put a big old head of cauliflower in the
Just
middle.
like, fuck cauliflower.
Well, anyway, let's get into the real discussion that I wanted to have tonight. So, as I said before, all of us at some rate or another have had experience working retail. Some good experiences, some bad. I'm not necessarily going to say that they were all bad. I mean, I have had fun working retail. I mean, I think Dan has too. All them wonderful toilets you get to scrub.
I was the janitor for a certain furniture store chain, and about half my job is cleaning the bathrooms, which was, I had 2 main responsibilities each day: to clean the bathrooms and to make sure the show floor got cleaned, vacuumed. If both those things got accomplished, my manager didn't care what else I had to do to make myself look busy. Every day when I left, clean the bathrooms? Yeah. Clean the bathrooms? Yeah. Clean the bathrooms? That's the first thing I do every day when I walk in. Clean the bathrooms.
Became habit.
And I have to say that cleaning the men's room was infinitely easier than cleaning the women's bathroom.
I'll have to agree with that.
Walking to the men's bathroom, maybe marginally a wipe down. Walk to the women's bathroom.
I will say,
It looks like a goddamn bomb went off.
we we're the most disgusting species.
I would
honestly.
walk in and be like, I left at 4 o'clock yesterday. What happened in that time period?
Yeah.
Nuclear
there's-
warhead went off.
The store was only open for 5 more hours after I left. And no offense to that store, but nobody goes in that store. So where did it all come from?
No. There's sometimes where, like, if I have to and I am desperate and the women's bathroom is just too dirty, because women are disgusting. There's been women's bathrooms where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna use the men's because it's cleaner. Because it's just disgusting. Women, why? I'm a woman and I don't understand it.
One time my manager walked up to me and she was like, hey Dan, you have to go into the women's room and clean it. And I was like, I just did that half hour ago. And she was like, well, there's a mess in there. And she was like, in the first stall, it's a disaster. I walk in and it is in fact a disaster. I finished cleaning it and then somebody went in there and just fucked it all up.
Was there cauliflower in the toilet tin?
No.
He's probably wishing
although
at that point it
there
was
could very well have been.
The world may never know.
I didn't want to know. I didn't check.
I think the story that's always going to stick with me the most working retail was back when I started. It was before I really was doing much in it. I was really just a cashier at the time. And I was at my old store. We used to have to go to customer service to get shopping bags for everybody. So I had to go and get them because I was out of bags, obviously. And there was a woman at customer service. And as long as I live, I will never forget what she told the person behind the desk. She returned one of the Pillsbury pizza doughs. It was open. So the woman behind the desk asked her, she's like, well, when you opened it, was there something wrong? Was it molded on the inside? It happens. I mean, it's packaged. It's literally packaged dough.
Right.
So the woman's like, no. She scratched her head. She's like, it's the weirdest thing. When I opened it and I unrolled it, it was just the dough. The whole pizza wasn't in there. So
where's the rest of you?
So the woman is fighting back a laugh. She's just like, you could see it in her face. Like she was turning blue. So she goes, okay, well, it's not supposed to be a whole pie. It's just supposed to be the dough and you dress it yourself. Oh, really? But on the package, it's got everything. She said, yeah, to show you what it looks like after. Oh, well, then I don't want it. Then I just want to return it.
Oh, my God.
Where's my pizza? It's not a pizza.
It really makes you wonder how these people get up and tie their shoes in the morning. How do you get out of bed?
The kind of people that make you go, how do you get through the day?
Yeah, like how do you get out of the bed? How do you get out of bed, dress yourself, put your shoes on, go out the door and drive your car.
And make it into shop still.
Yeah.
Things that make you go,
I'll never forget, I used to work for a craft store. And it was around Christmas time because it was seasonal work. And this woman, it was right before Christmas break. She had her 2 kids, and they're walking throughout the store. She gets to my register. I start checking them out, whatever. She turns to the little girl, who couldn't have been older than like 7 or 8, and goes, do you need anything else for your project before the end of, before break? And the girl, thinks about it for a second and then goes, oh yeah, I forgot, I have another project due. The woman rolls her eyes, huffs, and then goes, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of you doing this to me. Santa Claus isn't real and you're not getting any gifts.
oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
The girl bursted into tears.
Oh, I can't blame her.
And was like, what do you mean Santa's not real? I don't know what to do. And the little boy was sitting there like, Mom, what do you mean? Because he wasn't too much older than her. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I don't know what to do.
That's when you just go,
yeah, I was just my manager was standing behind me, completely gobsmacked, because she was like, I don't know what to do.
The fuck just happened
It
here?
was so it was so fast and immediate, and I was like,
I have another story about where I worked. Well, it was in the first couple months I started working there. We had to wear walkie-talkies with an earpiece so we could communicate throughout the store. And I got called up to the front of the showroom, and they were all huddled around a living room set. And on the area rug was a piece of shit. A human shit.
oh
Some kid took a shit on the area rug.
Oh, no.
And they were like, I want to take care of that? And I was like, no.
You don't pay me enough to touch that.
I literally said, I don't get paid enough to
Oh
clean up
my
shit off the floor. They're like, works of magic.
Oh no.
Just
So-
works of magic.
so
he threw the rug out and got a new.
So I had to get down on my hands and knees and clean up shit off of an area rug.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I was like, what am I supposed to use for this? Because like I had to use one of those like paper combo rag things, and
Nope. Mm-mm.
oh, I was doing a lot of that, and I was like, what do I need to clean it with? They were like, we should have something in the
Acid.
closet.
Acid is what you clean that with.
You just get a new rug. At that
So
point.
I was literally scrubbing the area rug for who knows how long, trying to get the shit out. And I was just, and the assistant manager was like, thanks, Dan. I almost just went.
No, I think and actually there's one other thing I wanted to really like get here. I've helped people out to their cars. I've taken groceries, patio sets, things, that, especially if it's an older person, they usually need help carrying, okay, whatever. Can I pose an honest question to everyone that's listening right now? And I do see that there are a few people watching us live right now.
Hey, everybody.
So I wanted to ask, why is it when someone needs help to their car, that their car on the inside already looks like Hoarders? Here's a $300.
What is that?
Here's a $300 grocery order, but I can't get past the folding chairs that should be in your yard right now. I've had people, and and it's not select to any kind of walk of life. I've had, little tiny cars. I've had expensive SUVs, sports cars. I mean, I've been working retail for almost 10 years now, so I've had my share of experience with helping people, but the people, I don't get it. It's, oh yeah, just put it wherever. It's like, well, there is no wherever. If I close the trunk, you're losing everything.
1 foot square space in the back of your car that's open?
Nah, come on.
I've had to help people put different stuff in their cars too, because the salesmen do it, but sometimes I would get asked to do that. Like, I was always the one that got the rug. The furniture store had a rug rack, and I was always the one who, if the other warehouse guy wasn't available, I was the one who took it down, rolled it up, taped it, and brought it out to the person's car. And sometimes we'd get asked to wrap accessories or whatever in bubble wrap and take that out too. And like, I forget, it was a bunch of stuff, and we had to put it into a car the size of a Kia Forte. Like,
That's a big car.
Like, I could have picked the car up and walked it to their house if I wanted to. And I was just like, my manager was there. I'm like, how?
We don't.
Like, there's like 4 things I gotta put in this car right now, and there's no room for the one.
I get a hacksaw and you can take it on multiple pieces.
I don't understand.
No.
Can we talk about coworker hygiene for a little bit?
If you want to go right ahead.
There's a reason why I ask about that, and it's because when I worked for that furniture store, the other warehouse guy who had been there for a while, had a serious case of BO. I've told both of them about this guy. They both know the stories I've told them, but like, sometimes people smell bad. Like, if you smell bad at the end of the day, like, sure, you might have a little bit of musk about you. But at 9 o'clock in the morning, when you get to work and you smell so bad that someone almost throws up, there's a problem. Like, one time, I was walking into the office, and this individual had been in the office already. I walked in and bam, the smell hit me like a brick wall. I almost threw up, because that's how bad it was.
Oh my god, no.
I literally Febrezed everywhere. And like, me and Nick,
The Febreze started coughing.
Went, oh no, I can't even cover that shit.
me and Nick always like joked about the smell of, like, think about a garbage fire in a dumpster with burning rubber next to it,
Covered in vomit.
Covered in vomit. Light that on fire.
There's a lot of fire.
And then put a dead animal next to it. That wouldn't cover how bad this guy smelled. Just like, I could not be around this guy for more than a minute at a time. Because if you were within feet of this guy, it's just unbearable. Could not bear it. And unfortunately, this guy had a lot of financial issues. He had to walk to work every day. And he lived about a half hour from where the store was, walking distance. So that didn't help the fact that he also smelled bad.
God, no way.
But every time, and one time when I first started, I'm just like, I asked all the time, my salesman, I asked them, do you guys know Dennis smells bad? They're like, oh yeah, that's old news. I'm like, old news? So has anybody confronted him about it? And they're like, yeah, we've told him he smells bad before. And I'm like, so this asshole doesn't fix the fact that he smells bad? And they're like, nah, it's just kind of the thing that we all make fun of a little bit. And I'm like, oh my god.
But you have customers that you
Well,
buy and
Dennis stays in the warehouse in the back of the store. He doesn't go into the front of the showroom.
he's like a hermit.
That puts the furniture together.
Alright, I would take a slight detour from that. Can you please tell them the story about the lady that tried to smuggle the turkey out in her pants?
Oh.
Is that turkey for you or just have you seen beef?
This one's actually my sister's story, because my sister and I used to work at the same food store, but I will graciously retell it. So at the food store we worked at, there was 2 express lanes, one facing this way, one facing this way. My sister was on the one this way because customer service was right in front of it. This woman had like one of those jean, like 90s jean jumpers on, you know, with like the t-shirt underneath.
Happening.
She looked like Mrs. Duggar. If you've ever seen like 19 Kids and Counting, those denim jumpers,
No,
that's what she wore.
Hell yeah.
So, you know, she looked pregnant, like 9 months pregnant. So my sister kind of was like, you know, all right, whatever. But the woman started like holding her stomach and going, oh my God. Oh my God. So my sister thinks, you know, oh my God, this lady's going into labor. What am I going to do? And all of a sudden she goes, oh, and grabs her stomach. But then what fell out was a 20-pound turkey. And it hit the floor.
Happy birthday.
It hit the floor and cracked the tile because it was
like
completely
today's the day
frozen.
for you.
So then they take her upstairs, you know, they call the police and blah, blah, blah. And my sister's got to go in to witness this because she was on her line. And the woman said in the meeting with the police and customer service and management and everything, oh, it got too cold. It got stuck to my stomach and fell out my underwear. How this lady even got this up her jumper is beyond me. But till this day, if you walk into that very food store and look in front of Register 1 Express, tile's still cracked.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
Or we could talk about the lady when I worked at that craft store that I mentioned earlier. We had a kinetic sand display to my right. And if you know what kinetic sand is, it's all that like ASMR, satisfying, cutting sand stuff.
Tune in next week for some beard ASMR.
It's all that stuff. So this lady like is squishing her hand in it and like she's playing with it as I'm checking her out, which is what's supposed to
Oh, she's
happen.
playing with it while you're checking her out. That's good.
Funny.
You heard it first here on Two Beards in a Pod, guys.
Hey.
You're so wrong. So, you know, I'm checking her things out. Is that better? Okay. So
so now you're checking individual
shut
things
up.
out.
So I'm
It just
sitting
gets
there,
better as we go.
and I'm ringing everything up, happy. I'm ringing everything up, doing it, and then
Sideways.
all of a sudden she goes,
Oh, is it really? Okay,
It
whatever.
might be sideways.
We might be filming sideways, but it's okay. Everyone gets the idea.
hey. So
Keep watching though, please.
I'm sitting there
Please clap.
doing my thing,
Yeah,
and
it's
she
sideways.
goes to me, you know, where does this sand come from? And I said, oh, you know, I'm not really sure. She's like, oh, so you get this imported? And I'm like, I guess. I mean, you know, it's craft sand. Like, it doesn't do anything. And she goes, oh, so it's sand from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's kinetic sand. And I looked at her and I was like, what? Yeah, you know, it's got to be Connecticut sand.
We're actually
You know, from the
meeting it. We're
beaches
actually
of
meeting it for
Connecticut.
brunch.
I was like,
Yes, exactly.
yeah, and you know, buffalo wings are from Buffalo, New York, so.
Hey.
That's where they're from though.
Are they really?
Yeah, they were made in Buffalo.
then my pun was worthless.
That's why they're called buffalo wings.
I didn't know that, so.
The more you know.
Well, did you know that actual live buffalo actually do not have wings? It's a table slapper.
That's a table slapper.
So I think actually one of my favorite stories will always be by far my other friend Chris, who I wish could have been here with us tonight to tell it, but I guess I will tell it in lieu of him not being here. He works in the meat department, and again, it was another story right around, I think it was either Thanksgiving or Christmas time. There was a woman that was pricing out and buying pot roasts, and she was talking to Chris, and Chris isn't really the most knowledgeable person on cooking.
Hey.
He knows his way around, but he's not really like, cooking expert. So the woman asks him, he's like, I'm looking at these to make for the holiday, whatever. So she's like, oh, and the prep time doesn't look too bad. I'm reading the tag on it, it's this size, so it has to be made for however long, whatever. So she's like, now the thing is, if I were to cook it, how long would I have to put it in the microwave for? And he looked at her. He's like,
what?
Raw? She's like, yeah, if I wanted to just pop it in the microwave and make it in the microwave, how long would it take? He's like, I'm pretty sure you can't cook an entire pot roast start to finish in the microwave.
There is no microwave big enough for that.
Apparently she thought she had one big enough. The big old microwave, they say. But it was just that story, just to know that someone actually asked that question and was dead honestly asking, not like haha, gotcha at the end.
Bring us back to how do you get through the day?
Seriously.
Yes.
Do you have any other funny furniture related stories?
I think that it was funny that when I worked for that furniture store, that more phone calls came in bitching about something or canceling orders than came in happy about what they got or calling to get more furniture. Like, I constantly heard salespeople like bitching about the fact that this guy just canceled his $4,000 order. Like, what the hell? And I was like, man, I would never want to be a salesman.
Sure you do.
And these people work on 100% commission.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, if at my store, if they didn't sell anything, they made less than I did per hour.
Wow. That's scary. They just paid you in free toilet paper, too. So I mean,
and that took some water in.
Can I please have 2-ply?
We'll give you more rolls of 1-ply. Go on.
Another funny story, actually, that I have is...
Is it funny?
Oh, it's going to be funny.
I hope it is.
I was recently moved, actually, to another store. Same chain, different store. And I was working behind customer service one night with one of the customer service women that's fairly regular in the store. So there was a woman that came up and tried to do a return. So, come to pass, it was a can of cat food and it was open. So, she said something along the lines of like the cat didn't want to eat it, something like that. I don't remember. It was something.
My cat
dumb.
doesn't want to eat it; it gets thrown out. Like
it was something like totally.
I'd like to return this frozen pizza. I did not like it.
I could go on with horror stories of those too, but like something happened. It was something with the food. The lady questioned her a little bit, but said and done. We gave her the refund back. No two ways about it, really. Took care of it. Lady walked away. Now she's over at the produce section, which is a little bit past where we were. So I was walking back behind the desk. I kind of caught the tail end of what was going on. So I asked her what happened. She said what happened, and I made a joke about something else. And she laughed, and we both laughed together. And all of a sudden, the woman backpedals with the cart. She's backpedaling. Did something I say sound funny to you? She looked at both of us. And I was like, I didn't even know what was going on. I was like, I mentioned something funny. We laughed. I had nothing to do with what was happening. Okay, well, I really don't appreciate your tone that you're taking with me right now. I said, all I said to you was that we were talking about something else. I said, guilty. In my head, I'm thinking, guilty conscience. I really don't know what you want me to say beyond that. So, whatever. It was a little weird after that. She left. Fine. Didn't think anything of it. I actually completely forgot about it. The next day, my store manager calls me into his office. He said to me, he's like, you want to tell me what happened last night? So I was like, what do you mean, what happened last night? He's like, yeah, something about a customer with a can of cat food. I said, oh yeah, the woman came, did the return. I talked to the lady behind customer service, told her something completely unrelated to the woman. We laughed. She thought that we were talking about her. I said, I swear on all honesty, we weren't talking about her. It just kind of came to pass that, you know, she was still there, thought we were making fun of her, whatever the case might have been. He's like, well, she wrote a 6-page complaint letter, and she's threatened to file a lawsuit against the store.
Oh my God.
I said, okay. I was like, well, I can in all honesty tell you. He's like, you know, just do me a favor. If you see this woman in the store again, stay away from her. Just avoid her.
Gladly.
I said,
Did she have the can I speak to a manager haircut?
no, she was like an older woman. Not really older, like middle-aged, like late middle age.
Was her name Karen?
I can't go near her to find out now, so it was bad news. I mean, I'm usually pretty good to get along with. I try not to give people a hard time unless they've given me a reason to give them a hard time, but that was just one I think it'll always stand out to me because it's the first time I was really threatened a lawsuit, so.
I have a customer related story. I worked for a movie theater a long time ago, and I was hanging out by the box office, and these two older women, like older as in like senior citizen, like 60s or 70s, they walked up to the box office. We're all hanging out there, and we all turned to them. We asked them what we can do for them, and this was when Wolf of Wall Street came out, and they say that they were not happy with the film. It was like all of these bad things, and they walked away.
I was very upset. It was bad.
And we're all like, did you look it up before you came to the movie? Like, it's not about wolves. It's not about like, it's about sex, drugs, and money.
I was gonna say, like, IMDb was a thing then.
This was only in like between 2012 and 2014.
That's what I mean. Like it
exactly.
IMDb is a thing.
And we're all like,
something.
Didn't you look it up before you came to the movie?
Yeah.
Like, it's rated R. The movie's rated R. I'm like, I'm sorry you didn't like it, but that's your own fault.
It's like there's a lady that walks around, and I used to work at a food store, and then I went to a pharmacy, and then, so I knew this lady really, really well, unfortunately. And I felt bad for her because I think she lived like with an older aunt. But lady's crazy. I mean, if you didn't talk to her or like make eye contact when you talked to her, she used to throw things at you. And like, hey, I'm talking to you. And like, she threw medication back at my friend once, and it hit her, and she actually got bruised from it. And she was from the canister. And
hey, ow!
Yeah,
Jesus.
like it was pretty bad. And
Talk about a different way of pills hurting you.
like, I see her now when I work on at the salon I work at. I see her walk up and down First Avenue, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna avoid her because you know exactly what I'm talking about. And
yes.
She's just, I do feel bad, but she is out there, man. Like I remember she was trying to talk to my sister once when she was on register at the food store. And she asked her, you know, like, if a box of donuts, I think, was on sale. And my sister didn't hear her. So my sister, you know, kept doing what she was doing. And then all of a sudden, she gets the box of donuts thrown at her. And she was like, George. She's like, whoa, what? And the woman's like, I was talking to you. And like, triple chocolate meltdown, screaming at her.
Threw the donuts at me.
Yeah, like.
Now, what did that solve?
Now I'm upset, you're upset, and you've wasted a perfectly good box of donuts. This is all bad.
And they were chocolate on top of it.
Oh no!
And then all the chubby guy adjustments ensued.
Oh.
This is all bad. Oh my god.
There's so many. So
I think between the two of you, we can go on for a little while longer with the stories.
I think so. One of the funniest ones, I think, was from...
I had not spent much time in the retail sector. I don't have any retail experience, so I would never be able to work in a store. But like you two have spent a long time. You've spent 8-9 years in whatever.
All customer service related.
Yeah.
God bless you.
There was one night actually, and my other brother used to work with me in this store. They do something in my store where they check the aisles and they make sure that there's no drops or spills or, for insurance purposes, to make sure that nobody could get hurt. There's nothing. So one of the stops, of course, along this walk is the bathrooms to make sure, the floors are clean, nobody had any accidentes in the bathroom. Dan knows all about those accidentes on carpets. He just shakes his head.
Traumatized. Forever traumatized.
And there was one of the workers actually was in the bathroom at the time. And I guess for whatever reason, my brother didn't knock on the door, or she didn't hear him knock on the door.
Come back with a warrant!
And what happened was he ended up going in the bathroom while the woman was walking out of the stall.
No.
And nothing was seen or anything. Nothing happened in the weird realm of things over there, but she yelled at him at first as a joke, but my brother got so flustered. She came up to customer service because he finished after, and that's the end stop is the customer service area. And she comes up, she's like, next time you come to the bathroom, you better knock a little bit harder. I almost came out, you almost saw my whole entire ass.
All of the ass. Not some of it, not half of it, all
the
of
entirety.
the ass. I have another bathroom story. I always clean the men's room first because it was quick, and then I would clean the women's room, and then I would let whoever needed to use the bathroom use the bathroom. Then I would clean the break room. Then I would circle back to the bathrooms so I could mop them. And when it was clockwork. Whenever I got the mop ready, half of the female staff would need to use the bathroom. So I started telling them, hey, I'm going to mop the bathroom now. So if you need to use it, go use it. And sometimes I would be in the middle of mopping. And I would get the, Dan, you in here? Yeah, I'm mopping. And they're like, did you just start or are you in the middle of it? And I'll be like, you can use the bathroom. So I would end up sitting for 10 minutes waiting for the bathroom to be open again so I could go mop it. And all the time I'm just like, every day this happens.
You know my routine.
They should have. They really should have. Every single day. I even went as far as to tell them, be like, listen, I'm gonna go mop the bathroom. Listen, I'm gonna go clean the women's room. You need to go use it, because I'm gonna be in there for a while.
No, I'm okay 5 minutes into it. Can I use the bathroom
Can
now?
I just get in here real quick? No, I just told you.
Explosive triple diarrhea.
Now I gotta clean it again.
I remember towards the end of
I hate
working
this job.
at the food store, this was actually what made me ultimately quit the food store. They had a new kid in seafood, and for those of you that don't know, I am deathly allergic to all seafood, mainly shellfish. So it was steamed lobsters in one of those plastic bags,
those waxy
plastic bags. Yes. So it's coming down the belt. I see it coming. Whatever. The kid didn't close the bag properly, so it hit the part where the belt ends and the scanner begins, and it spilled all over my register.
All over.
So the woman's pissed at this point because she's like, "Oh, it's contaminated, dirty, blah blah blah. You gotta clean this up, and what are we gonna do? I gotta go back and get more lobsters." Meanwhile, in the interim of this happening, housekeeping has gone home. Seafood is now closed, so she can't get any more lobsters, even if her life depended on it. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, nobody's gonna clean this but me. So I had to clean it all up.
Get the hazmat suit ready.
Had to take 2 Benadryl because at this point my face was swollen, everything was swollen. I was terrible. It was awful. I wound up going to the hospital overnight actually because my throat was starting to close, and I was out for 2 weeks, and they were going to fire me because I was out for 2 weeks. And I brought them a doctor's note from the hospital.
Oh my god, this happened at your fucking store.
Well, that was the thing. I brought them the hospital note that said, I was in the hospital for this reason and blah, blah, blah. And they
We were short-staffed.
Yeah, exactly.
I was dead because of this.
Exactly. And I was like, you know what? Shortly after that, I was like, forget it. I'm done. And
Short-staffed, get taller staff then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was like dad joke ultimate. My god.
I found a spot to use the meme and I took it.
Well, I think needless to say, next year everyone should look out for the bestseller that the three of us are going to write. Retail Stories of Horror.
Oh, you two.
It'll be out a year from now because it'll be Halloween time next year. It'll be the worst horror stories that anyone's ever read. Based on our own personal experience.
Well, you two. Nobody wants me to write a book.
Hey, listen, I think it'd be funny if you just put the bathroom stories in there. Or you could just talk about the carpet o' poop.
Between the one guy, poop stories, bathroom stories, which involve both poop and the bathroom.
So I think this is where we're going to wrap this week's episode up. I think a nice little poop burrito made out of carpet, I think, is a good place to kind of put the kibosh.
If you say so.
So, everyone, did you have something to say before
Yes.
we finish?
If anybody has a customer service story, please, we are dying to hear it.
We want to hear them.
Absolutely.
If you have any job horror stories, more specifically retail horror stories, comment.
Share it to our page.
We're ready to post on our page. Anything.
On this video, on the episode which will be coming out shortly, that is currently recording as we are speaking. We would love to share the experience and just think, maybe you could be in our book next year. We'll call it the Retail Compilation. That'll be the second book that comes out.
Scary stories to tell about retail in the dark.
Scary stories to tell in the break room.
There we go.
Well, anyway, as we always conclude our show, we have to say goodbye to our guest.
Bye.
Thanks for coming on, Callie.
Thanks, Callie. We'll have plenty more episodes coming up with her. I think next week's episode is going to be about the horrors of the internet.
Oh, yeah.
As we always do, my name is Nick.
My name is Dan.
And Dan is still single, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I hope you tune in for the next ones to come.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Bye!
That was weird.
See, here's the weird part now where we're still live casting. I think everyone's watching and I just stopped the recording. Dan, this is your last